Hello everybody, I'm GuidesForUsAll and welcome back to my old school RuneScape bossing in RS3 series. The goal of this series is to fight bosses in RuneScape 3 whilst using gear that is equivalent to the gear that you can use in old school RuneScape. So last episode we tackled God Wars Dungeon 1. If you want to check that out, there'll be a link in the description and at the end of this video. And in this part we are going to be tackling God Wars Dungeon 2. I'm going to attempt to fight all 4 bosses in God Wars Dungeon 2 on the Legacy Combat mode with gear that is equivalent to old school gear. In this episode, I'm letting myself take a few more leniencies because of how much more difficult the bosses will be, such as I'm going to be using Subjugation Armor because it is a bit stronger than Aram's and it is Power Armor, but that makes it more equivalent to the newer Ancestral Armor in Old School, because Aram's is really weak in RuneScape 3 and provides no attack bonuses, whereas Ancestral in Old School does provide attack bonuses, so I'm going to be using Subjugation instead. As well as the boots I will be using because of the fact that there are eternal boots in old school RuneScape that provide magic attack bonuses as well. The Saradomin's Hiss I'm using as an equivalent to the occult necklace in old school, which gives a huge magic bonus, and the rest of the items all exist in old school, such as the Max Cape Staff of Light, Barrow's Gloves, and the Seer's Ring. I would imbue the Seer's Ring, but I really don't want to play mobilizing armies, so this slot is a little bit weaker than the old school equivalent. So the first boss we're going to try and tackle is Vindicta and Gregorovitch. First off, I will try fighting it in the style that I use the most in RuneScape 3 against it, and that is magic. If that does not work, we'll try melee, and we'll probably won't try range. It's not very good against Vindicta and Gregorovitch, so let's go try and fight our first God Wars Dungeon 2 boss in old school gear in Legacy Combat mode. Alright, we are here. I ate a rock tail to heal our health above normal, and I am slightly terrified. Also, as you can see, the rest of my gear is also attempting to be the equivalent from old school, as I'm using the Vecna Skull, like the Imbued Heart, Super Defense, Bruise, Restores, and Rocktails. I'm also not going to be bringing a familiar with myself. And as you can see, Legacy Combat mode in RS3 is basically the same as in old school. You just take turns exchanging blows, and this is going a lot better than I thought it would actually. Vindicta does not seem to be doing much damage to me, and I'm not even using my prayers yet. Ooh, that Dragonfire is devastating though. Okay, so we're going to have to use a Rocktail, and I want to hold off on using Bruise as long as I can, because you can only use the Vecna Skull once every, what is it, let's see, 8 minutes it would seem. So I'm only going to get that boost once during this fight, and there are no magic potions. Well, there are magic potions, but they're garbage, so there's no point in wasting an inventory slot on them, and obviously the Bruise will get rid of the magic boost that I've gotten from the Vecna Skull. So let's get out of the fire once more and continue attacking Vindicta. My god, this is terrifying. For those who only play old school and don't know a lot about the bosses of RuneScape 3, you might be wondering, hey, can you kite Vindicta and run around and dodge her melee attacks? And you can, but then she'll begin to use ranged attacks, which are much more powerful, so you're much better off just tanking the melee attacks. Here we go, we are now on to the second half of the fight with Vindicta and Gregorovitch. First off, Vindicta will use a melee attack, then a very powerful ranged attack that deals a lot of damage, and then back to a melee attack, and then Vindicta and Gregorovitch will fly away and resurface somewhere else, where she will then breathe Dragonfire, and then the cycle continues. The real big problem with this is how much damage the ranged attack does, and it's very, very accurate. So there's not much I can do. Normally you would use an ability called Resonance to heal off of that hit, but we don't have the liberty of using abilities in Legacy Combat, and it looks like we are now out of Rocktails, so it is time to go and start using our Bruise, which is unfortunate. We're going to lose our magic bonus, but the fight's going really well. I think we're actually going to be able to beat this first try. I was worried about a lot of these fights and how difficult they would be on Legacy Combat, but it's actually not going too poorly. Alright, we're almost done. Only 11 health left. Can we finish her off? Yes, there we go. We have slain Vindicta and Gregorovitch and gotten ourselves 217 Dragon Bones, which is a pretty good drop from this boss. Not too shabby. What was that kill time? Like 4.5 minutes? Very fun. That was actually very, very fun. Unfortunately, Vindicta and Gregorovitch are probably one of the easier bosses in God Wars Dungeon 2, so the rest of the fights we have are not going to be as easy. Next up, I think we should approach one of the slightly more difficult bosses, Hellweir. This one we're going to be doing melee, because melee, as far as I know, is the best to use against Hellweir, and here is our melee setup. Bandos top, bottom, boots because of the fact that the primordial boots exist in old school RuneScape. Same with the Zenite jewelry, the Torture, I think we're going to be using the Saradomin's Whisper in place of that. The Nates is not. Saradomin, Godsword, Max Cape, Barrow's Gloves, and Warrior's Ring all exist in old school. So that is why we are using those, and now let's get right into this. This one actually terrifies me a lot more than Vindicta and Gregorovitch, because Hellweir has some mechanics that you use a lot of abilities to deal with in RS3, so the fact that we will have no abilities to deal with these is going to make this fight a lot more difficult, even right from the get-go. So those right there, we got very lucky. He will randomly shoot out these 3 mushrooms, which slow your character down and eventually stun you if you do not dodge them. And then he does this attack, You Will Bleed, which I failed to get out of the way of. And now I do not know how I'm going to get rid of that bleed. It actually only lasts for 30 seconds. So we're going to want to get away from him here when he does this as well, because all you do is take damage there, and we have no abilities to negate said damage. So yeah, Hellweir is just a big damage dealer. These bleeds are a big deal, and he will then summon some wolves, which will attack us, and we're going to want to take these wolves out because they will stack up and start dealing a lot of damage, I think. And then he goes back to his original abilities, those mushroom abilities there, which are absolutely devastating. Oh my god, this boss is difficult. Really got to make sure to dodge the You Will Bleed attack there. And make sure that we're not being affected by the bleed the whole time. So this fight is going quite poorly so far, and we have dealt not even 2,000 damage to his health here, and we are over a minute into the fight, and he has dealt a substantial amount of damage to us, unfortunately. I don't really know what else I could bring with me to make this fight a bit easier. Maybe a shield switch would make me tank some of his hits a little better. I really don't know, but let's keep going on with the fight. There we go, some big hits there. Now that orange hit is a critical hit, which I think is just your max hit as far as I know, but it's just a substantially more damaging hit in RuneScape 3. Hey, there we go, we just hit another one. 655, which is very good. You can pretty much just multiply all the damage numbers of Old School by 10 to get the equivalent of what we're getting here. So every 15 would be about a 1 in Old School. I think I'm getting hit by that, yep. Oh, that sucks. And that 600 I hit would be like a 65, so pretty nice. Oh, you know what I've forgotten? I've forgotten to bring a spec weapon. I forgot that the spec bar exists. You know, I have the Ceridome and Godsword spec that I can use, and I'm not sure if it's the same as it is in Old School, but let's give it a shot here. Let's use the special attack. It is the same, so it healed us, and I assume restored a bit of our prayer, so we really should have been using that from the get-go. Or maybe, yeah, it does restore prayer. Okay, very nice. So, yeah, really should have been using that attack the whole time, and unfortunately we just got hit by one of those mushrooms. It does a little bit of damage and slows you down, so you really don't want to get caught in that. And we are almost out of Rock Tails, and I did not move out of the way fast enough, so we got hit by his bleed attack once again. It's actually impossible for us to dodge the bleeds, because this attack that he's about to do right there, he homes in on your location, and he always hits you at least once, so it looks like we're not going to be able to dodge that bleed, unfortunately. You know what, let's just ignore the wolves, and let's just lay it on Hellweir. If we get lucky with a ton of hits, and hopefully, oh my god, that's very, very not lucky. And I'm gonna get hit by the bleed. Oh no, we managed to dodge it somehow. Okay, you know what, we've got a Ceridome and Godsword spec. Please be good. It was horrible, we hit a 0. Yep, it looks like this fight is all but over for us, unless somehow we can dodge every single attack. Oh, this sucks. This is very unfortunate. So close though, you know, I played that fight pretty poorly in some areas, and I think maybe if we bring a couple more brews and I play it a little more smart, and of course, you know, I use the Ceridome and Godsword specs at the start, we could definitely win. But here we go, let's accept our death. Good fight, Hellweir, good fight. Definitely doable. Let's try that again. Alright, so to give us better odds this time, I drank a dose of super defense and ate a rocktail before we've gone in, and then I've decided not to bring any super defense with us because Ceridome and Brews boost your defense, so it's really just a waste of an inventory slot. Alright, rematch. Let's go, Hellweir. Bring it, bitch. Oh, big boy spec. 510. It healed us over 200. Oh, again, another really nice spec. Ceridome and Godsword's actually a pretty good special attack weapon in Legacy, it looks like, so I'm glad I didn't think to bring anything else, because this thing is pretty good. Alright, here we go. Hellweir's at like half health now, and our supplies are looking a lot better than they were last time we had him at half health, so I'm pretty confident about being able to beat him this time. Plus we've got an SGS spec ready to go next time he hits us pretty hard. Under 5,000 health, please. Oh my god, no! I misclicked. I thought I clicked run, but I must have just clicked right on him. Oh no, that's unfortunate. Oh, and of course I hit a critical when I'm brewed down to super low stats. Why am I so accurate when my stats are brewed down? Wild. Okay, you know what? We're going to ignore the alphas again this time because he is so low on health. We just have to try and finish him off. Let's get our spec in. Oh, a critical on the SGS spec. That is absolutely beautiful. Come on, 2,000 health left. We got this. We got this. It's also worth noting that he can call in, as far as I know, like an unlimited number of wolves. So now we're going to have to deal with the damage from 4 of them, which really sucks. But he's only got 600 health left. I mean, come on, he's got to die soon. Oh my god, we're coming really close to death right now. This is a bit risky. Now we've got to dodge his big boy attack. Oh my god, 200 health left, please. Yes, there we go. We did it. We killed Hellweir in Legacy. That is amazing. And we got the Wolfpack achievement, which I think is to have a certain amount of wolves attacking you while you kill Hellweir. So there we go. Hellweir is down. We are through half of the God Wars Dungeon 2 bosses. Just 2 to go, and I think the next one we should take on is one that's slightly easier than this. We deserve a little bit of a break. So now we are preparing to face the Twin Furies, the Agents of Zamorak. These are, without a doubt, the easiest to fight in God Wars Dungeon 2, at least in RuneScape 3's combat system. There are 2 of them that will be attacking us at once, so we cannot fully prey against both of their attack styles since one uses melee and one uses ranged, and they have a large variety of mechanics to dodge. I think we should be okay with most of them, but I'm a bit worried about how much damage we're going to be able to deal, since normally you would use a melee weapon that can hit both of them at the same time with a lot of abilities. I do not think we're going to be able to hit them both at the same time with the God Swords, so it's going to be a big fight, and it's going to be very biased against us, but let's go for it. I'm going to start off praying melee, since I feel like that's who's going to deal the most damage to us, and we are using melee in this fight. Now, to start things off, first off, one of them will run against the north wall, and then they will switch to each wall, and they will charge at you and try to hit you. If you let one of them catch, or if you let them catch you with this, they will deal a massive amount of damage to you that I believe is a melee hit. But nevertheless, wow, I didn't even pot up, and we have dealt massive damage to their health pool. Almost every single hit we've sliced at them has connected very well. Now, they're going to do a special attack here in a moment where one of them will fly away, and you have to stand underneath them, or you will be hit by this rain cloud of spikes. I don't know exactly what they are, but yeah, this fight is going extremely well. See, I just got hit by one as a ranged hit. This is going extremely well. My god, the accuracy on our melee attacks against them must be very high, or I'm just getting extremely lucky. Either way, I'm really not going to complain, and they aren't dealing much damage to me either. So, as you can see, they are quite obviously the easiest fight in God Wars Dungeon 1. Now they're in a mode right here where we will slowly take, God Wars Dungeon 2, where we will slowly take damage, and they will take increased damage, I believe. But once they finish channeling this, if I'm still standing near them when they're done channeling it, it will deal a ton of damage to me. So you really have to retreat to the edge of the arena as quickly as possible to not get hit by that explosion attack. So that's the cycle of the Twin Furies. There's no phase 2. That's what the entire fight is like, and I can't believe we've almost got them down to half health in just one cycle. So really, I think this is going to be the most straightforward fight that we'll have here. SGS spec, come on. Oh my god, 882, that was a huge spec. Yeah, looking at this now, we probably could have just brought Rocktails. We didn't even need Bruise for this fight. Wow, it just tears right through them. I did not expect this to go this well. I am very, very happily surprised about how easy this fight went. We're almost done. Let's just clean them up. One more good hit and you are donezo. Come on, one more hit. Don't hit me with those zeros now. Don't give me those zeros now. There we go. The Twin Furies have been defeated. Wow. That was extremely easy in Legacy. That was, I would say, like 3 times easier than Vindicta. I mean, I could have done that in my sleep. So, unfortunately now, that means that the last boss we are left to face is Gregorovitch. Gregorovitch is very hard, even in RS3's normal combat system. If you're not very good at him, you can only get maybe like 1 or 2 kills per trip, and that's with a Beast of Burden. I'm not very good at him, so don't expect this to go super well. We now stand outside of Gregorovitch's boss room. Here is the gear. We're finally getting to use ranged here in God Wars Dungeon 2. Ranged is the preferred attack style against him in main RuneScape 3, so that's what I'm going to be using against him here with Legacy. We have got the Armadillo helmet, chest plate, and chain skirt. We also have the Armadillo boots, which I'm using as the equivalent to the Pegasian boots. Then we are using the Armadillo crossbow and the offhand Armadillo crossbow. I know there's no offhand Armadillo crossbow in old school RuneScape, but really, you could say that the Twisted Bow outclasses these two in damage exponentially. Like, I could be using a way higher tier of weapon if I really wanted to, but I didn't want to push it too far against the basis of the series. Then, of course, Max Cape, Bear's Gloves, and the Archer's Ring. So let's get into this fight. It's a little confusing. I don't 100% understand a certain mechanic of it, but we're going to do the best that we can. So let's head inside. We'll drink our ranging potion. Oh, and I did not mention that we have got the Dark Bow as our special attack weapon. So let's get started. Let's get our first attack, and no, we're not going to get any attacks off because I didn't get any bolts. My god, I cannot believe how unprepared I was for that fight. Alright, we're back. I got us some Onyx Bolts E. I figured those would be the best. They'd give us the opportunity to heal off of some of our attacks, and they are a very high tier of bolts. They have pretty good damage, so let's start this fight off. I am actually quite terrified of Gregorovitch. So we're gonna want to stand over here, and his first special attack is going off now, where he throws those little knives as well as his glaives that deal a lot of damage. And now we have been poisoned by him. I forgot to bring anti-poison, and then we want to make sure we kill this spirit, because if it gets to him, it will give him an effect. I don't know exactly what effect it is in this corner, but oh my god, he is dealing so much damage to us. We got to make sure not to stand on these little black spots after he throws that attack. And now let's go for a Dark Bow spec. Come on, baby. Big damage. Ooh, that was actually really nice. Really nice spec there. And yeah, I have a bad feeling about this fight. It's not going too well so far. I have a feeling we're going to need to bring ourselves an anti-poison. Oh man, that wasn't... Oh no, it's gonna get to him. Okay. Well, it has unfortunately given him a poison stack, which makes his poison deal even more damage. That's what it does in this corner. And normally I stand in this corner because of the fact that you can have a perk on one of your armor pieces that makes you immune to poison. Unfortunately, I don't have that perk here in Legacy Combat, so I really don't know where I should stand, honestly. Alright, let's try another Dark Bow spec after our next Armadillo Crossbow hit. Come on, Dark Bow, pull through. Alright, like 700 damage just about. So the Dark Bow is super helpful here. But oh man, I just don't see this working out. I don't see us finishing this fight. We're going to have to revise our strategy a lot. I'm going to have to do a little more research as to which corner has the least debilitating effect for me here on Legacy. But we're going to keep going. We're going to put up our noble effort and see if we can maybe get some lucky Onyx Bolt specs off to help us out here. We are out of food now, and it looks like he's going to take us down any second now with just under 3,000 health left. Oh no, this is so sad. There it is, we've been defeated. Gregorovitch had 2,000 health left. After reading up on what all of these different masks do, the mask that increases the damage of the poison is definitely the most preferable, trust me. The other ones increase his attack damage and his attack speed, so very bad. Oh, he's so close to being dead. Brew up. Come on, please. 200 HP. Oh my god, please. Oh, this is it. This is it. There we go. Gregorovitch is dead. We have defeated every single one of the God Wars Dungeon 2 generals. And I can't tell you how much money I've wasted doing this fight because of the price of Onyx Bolt E's and the fact that I used the Max Cape as opposed to any of the Ava's devices. I mean, I probably lost a couple hundred Onyx Bolts, and these are each worth 8,000 gold each. So I wasted a couple million gold doing the fight like that, but it was our best chance as the Onyx Bolts deal the most damage as far as I know compared to other bolts. So there we go. We have defeated all 4 of the God Wars Dungeon 2 generals using Legacy Combat and old school gear. So if you guys would like to see another one of these types of videos in the future, definitely let me know in a comment down below and what type of bosses you'd like me to fight in RuneScape 3 with old school gear. Also, I'd like to thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate your feedback, and if you guys could leave a like on this video, it would help out more than you could imagine. So thanks for watching once again, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.